Hey guys, it's Ghost Queen. I'm going to address something today. I am on my 6th day not smoking. Very important for me to quit smoking. It's been very difficult for me because I've turned to smoking so often throughout my life, thinking in my mind it was an aid to stress relief. Even though, rationally and logically, I know that's not true. Psychologically, for me, it's connected to stress relief. And it's been very hard for me to quit because I have so much stress going on in my life. But because I was dealing with a form of pre-cancer, and, I have to quit smoking. It's what's smart. But it isn't easy. It isn't easy. And every time I get stressed, that's what I want to do, is reach for a cigarette. So I'm 6 days smoke-free. I'm back on the vape. And I'm going to address something, not because I want to, but because I sort of feel forced to. Because somebody decided to look up my information and then publicly share that information with people, and they spun it in a particular light to make me look bad because they had their own agenda. And I feel forced now to discuss it because I care about what people think about me. And perhaps I shouldn't, but I do. So I am going to discuss this briefly. Back in 2014, I was divorced, and I was having a lot of problems with my ex-husband, who's abusive, who was constantly pulling stuff that I believe affected my children in a very negative way. Was just basically being a real shitty dad, and fucking with me through the children and not caring how it affected the children. And it was infuriating. And to see what he put our children through was infuriating for me. So men that are abusive are very wily, and they know how to use the system to their advantage, and they become very skilled at that. And at any rate, so, they can use the system as a form of abuse, and I've been through this so more times than I care to think about. So my ex-husband had left my kids standing in the driveway with their suitcases in hand and canceled his visitation. Well, no, that's not true. He didn't cancel it. He just didn't show up. He was supposed to take the kids, but he used to like to fuck with that because he would assume I had made plans for when he was going to have the kids, so he would cancel a lot just to fuck with me. And it would affect the kids, and it would be very upsetting for them, and thus upsetting for me. So I had my children standing in the driveway, suitcases in hand, and about, half hour after he was supposed to be there, he finally calls and says he's not coming. So I was enraged. So after I got my kids situated, sorry, daddy's not coming again, and dealing with them being upset, I was extremely angry, and I kept calling my ex-husband to vent my anger at him and what he was doing to our children. So what he decided to do was to contact the police, and because he didn't want to hear it. Just didn't want to hear it. It's just an attempt to control me. And, abusive men use all forms of coercive control, and trying to control your mouth is always one of them. And so he called the police on me. And at the time, I was living in a different state. I didn't have transportation, and I couldn't get to the court date. So, and in fact, I didn't even know there was a court date. Like, I had bigger issues on my mind than the bullshit my ex-husband was pulling on a regular basis. So I missed the court date. There was a bench warrant, and he then set me up, and I went to bring my daughter to him so he could just watch her for a little bit while I was trying to pack up my house, and had a huge incident of domestic abuse again. And I wasn't thinking about any bench warrant from years back. Wasn't on my mind at the time, and wasn't thinking in, I can't think like him and what he's planning and what, I can't ever be sort of ahead of the game because I don't think like that. So had this huge incident of domestic abuse where he threatened to kill me. My ex-husband used to like to do this thing, and he does it often, where he pretends to punch me and then like stops his fist like a quarter-inch from my face, threatened to kill me, threw my daughter's bags in this very ugly scene. And, it was horrifying, and it's traumatic. And no woman or child should have to ever go through this sort of stuff. So when I went to the police station to report it, I was arrested on a bench warrant. So back in 2014, this is how it was explained to me, that if someone was making harassing phone calls, the only umbrella they could put it under is cyberstalking. Because it's technology, it's considered part of that umbrella thing. So the charge against me was technically cyberstalking, but I wasn't cyberstalking anyone. I was calling my ex-husband to vent my anger at his repeated, what I consider to be abuse of my children. And I had to go to court for this. It took me a good, month to fight this charge. In the end, I took a plea deal instead of going to trial, which I do believe if it went to trial, I probably would have won. But it would have taken me a good another month to go through that. And I couldn't afford it. I wasn't living in the state where this was going on. And it was just, it's too much. It gets to be too much. After a while, you get tired of constantly fighting. And it's frustrating. And anybody who hasn't been through it probably doesn't understand it. I tried to prosecute him once before for physical abuse, but refused to make my children testify against him because I thought that would be damaging to them. And as such, I lost the case. And it's amazing what domestic abusers can get away with. They're very adept at getting away with shit. And anyway, so I was on probation, not probation, but like basically the plea deal is as long as I didn't get in trouble with him or make any kind of, have any reason to have him be upset with me for a year, then it would be wiped off my record, taken care of. And the charge was making harassing phone calls. Not cyber stalking, not stalking, period, but making harassing phone calls. And yeah, but because my current partner's ex went snooping into my life, she wanted to paint a very ugly picture of me and decided to spread the rumor that I'm a stalker. What's ironic about that is I had to go through my Facebook. It took me a very long time to go through, I don't know, 3,000 plus people to try to get her, who was stalking me, off my Facebook. So, she publicly admitted she had a spy account on my Facebook. So, she would try to find information about me that I would post, and just went looking into my personal. I've had many people do this over in that little camp, finding old personal ads of mine, and I don't stalk them, don't know anything about their personal lives, don't give a fuck, really don't care. But these people are obsessed with looking into my personal life, and then they find stuff and they share it, and as a way to bully me. Yeah. And most of the information that they find, they get wrong, and they don't know anything about it, but they come to their own conclusions. So, yeah. I'd rather not think about abuse I've been through and rather not talk about it. It's not, especially because I'm forced to, because of rumors being created. It's disgusting. It's vile. You're vile people. But that's okay. Yeah. In truth, I am stalked regularly by my ex-husband and his partner in many ways, many sick ways, when I don't have interest, one, in them or their lives. Constantly interested in me and my life. It's sad and it's sick, and yeah, that's what those kind of people are like. So, yeah. This is what you have to deal with when you have an ex-partner that's abusive, especially if you've had children with them. It's a non-stop battle, and it sucks. It really sucks. And that flying monkey, internet users now aid my ex-husband in the abuse is just, yeah, it's sick. It's really sick. So, that's that. I would make a pretty shitty stalker because I'm too distracted on the whole to stalk anyone. But there you have it. See, and some people are really sick and they get like a feeling of power when they feel like they can control someone. So, I guess putting me in a position where I'm forced to discuss something publicly that I don't want to makes them somehow feel powerful because they're so small and powerless themselves. They have to have a feeling of power and control. And I feel sorry for those types of people because they actually have no control and no power whatsoever. Really whatsoever. No control, no power. But that's okay. it is what it is. And I'll keep being me and keep plowing forward and keep being happy and loving my life. And they'll keep being them, struggling for control of anything and struggling to have power over anything because they feel so powerless and small. And that's it. That's it, people. At the end of the day, all you can do is wake up every morning and be happy and live your best life. As I hear some people like to say, live your best life. Well, I'm always living my best life. And I will continue to do so. So that's it. Hope everybody's well. Wayne and I are streaming tonight, if you care to join us. And I hope you're getting your kicks. Hope you're getting your kicks. Take care, guys. See you tonight.